One daughter walked away to save her peace. Another wife lost control on live TV. And the dream of America's most famous plural family finally collapsed under the weight of its own silence. In the same breath that one Brown chose, distance another revealed the truth she could no longer hide. This is the untold story of how a mother's peace and a wife's reaction changed sister wives forever. Part 1.
They moved.
Born into love and a dream that was already splintering. Mykelti Brown CAUGHT, the second daughter of Christine and Kody Brown, grew up believing in plural unity, one big family, 4 mothers, and one father holding them together. But behind the smiles were invisible lines drawn between homes, between wives, between children. Even then, Mykelti saw the cracks, and years later, she would be the one forced to face them head-on. When Christine finally left Flagstaff, she wasn't just leaving Kody. She was leaving behind a belief system. And, for Mykelti, that meant choosing sides in a war she never wanted. She loved her father, but she understood her mother. For months, Mykelti tried to be the bridge phone calls, family dinners, late-night messages trying to heal wounds that only deepened. But every time she tried to bring them together, someone walked away. And one day, it was her turn. She confessed in private, "I'm emotionally exhausted. I can't fix something that doesn't want to heal." I tried to remind them we're still family, but love shouldn't hurt this much. I have my own babies now, I can't let them grow up in chaos. And with that, the choice became clear. To save her children's peace, she would have to walk away from the noise. But her decision would ignite a backlash no one expected. In the fall of 2024, Mykelti and her husband, Tony Padron, quietly packed up their life in Utah and moved cross-country to North Carolina. Away from the cameras, away from the fights. It wasn't a goodbye filled with drama. It was a silent exit, one that spoke louder than any interview. But fans noticed what she didn't say: no farewell post, no sister wives reunion appearance, just silence. That silence became the loudest statement of all. Then came the post that changed everything, a cryptic message hinting at distance, peace, and release. Fans speculated she had cut contact with parts of the family, especially after she stopped following certain relatives online. But the twist wasn't rejection, it was revelation. She hadn't abandoned them. She had finally learned that loving her family didn't mean losing herself. In choosing peace over pain, Mykelti became the quiet hero of a family still at war with itself. As 2025 began, Mykelti shared glimpses of her new life: motherhood, home, joy. No cameras, no drama, just peace. And fans saw something powerful: the daughter who finally broke the cycle. Mykelti's always had the biggest heart. She just wants everyone to be happy. In the story of sister wives, where tears and turmoil have become the soundtrack, Mykelti Brown's choice is a quiet revolution, proving that healing sometimes begins with distance. She didn't walk away from love, she walked toward peace. If this story touched you, hit subscribe and join our growing Sister Wives community of women finding strength through truth and transformation. Comment below. Would you have made the same choice as Mykelti? Part 2. She entered their lives as the angel wife, soft-spoken, spiritual, promising unity. Robyn Brown was supposed to heal the Brown family, but somewhere between the move to Flagstaff and the crumbling marriages, the peacekeeper became the lightning rod. The early years were filled with hope, but as the balance shifted, so did the heart of the family. Behind that single eye roll was over a decade of jealousy, frustration, and emotional fatigue. It was supposed to be a healing interview. Kody, raw and teary, admitted he hadn't seen Truly since the split. He said, "I just miss my little girl." And then the moment. A tiny movement, but millions saw it. Robyn's eyes rolled, just as America leaned forward in sympathy. In that split second, the perfect image cracked. Fans didn't see empathy, they saw contempt. But what no one knew then is that this wasn't the first time Robyn's words, or her eyes, exposed what she really felt. For years, fans noticed something strange in Robyn's language. The words "your kids," whenever she spoke to Kody about Janelle or Christine's children. To some, it sounded like boundaries. To others, it was the proof that she never truly saw them as her own. While Christine, Janelle, and even Mary had all raised one another's children, Robyn's emotional wall stood firm. And the night of the eye roll, that wall became visible for the world to see. Empathy isn't just about words. It's about how you look at someone when they're hurting. Behind the cameras, sources close to the family claimed Christine was furious not because of the moment itself, but because it confirmed everything she'd been warning for years. There's always been an imbalance. Some of us just finally stopped pretending it wasn't there. People read too much into things. Robyn's heart is pure. But the internet disagreed, and in just 24 hours, Robyn Brown went from fan favorite to family villain. Then came the twist to detail that changed how fans viewed the moment forever. Frame-by-frame analysis revealed something chilling right before the eye roll. Robyn whispered to herself, "He's not serious." She didn't believe him. The tears, the regret, she thought it was performance. And for millions watching, that small whisper changed everything. Body language experts confirmed what fans felt. The gesture wasn't annoyance, it was disbelief. She didn't think Kody truly missed Truly, and that disbelief exposed the emotional divide no one could ignore. Suddenly, fans weren't just judging Robyn, they were questioning Kody's sincerity too. "I can't handle the hate. People twist everything I do. I'm just tired." But by then, the damage was done. #iRollgate had become the most replayed Sister Wives moment of the year. The woman once seen as the peacemaker was now being called the Queen of Manipulation. And in that contrast, Christine's calm joy versus Robyn's public breakdown, the story found its ending. In a family that once promised endless love, it took one look to reveal a lifetime of resentment. One eye roll, 1,000 emotions, and a truth too painful to hide. If this story moved you, tap subscribe and join thousands of women dissecting the truth behind Sister Wives. Comment below. Was Robyn's eye roll frustration or a mask finally slipping? Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. But 2024 changed everything. With 3 young children of her own, Mykelti admitted what many fans already felt: she was emotionally exhausted, trying to hold together what had already fallen apart. that single line loving from afar, became the quiet anthem for thousands of women watching. Yet, as Mykelti withdrew, another Brown woman would do something that reignited the family's deepest divisions. It lasted less than 2 seconds, but for Sister Wives fans, it spoke louder than any argument. As Kody expressed his longing to see truly, Robyn's subtle eye roll paired with her whispered, "He's not serious," ignited a firestorm. She just exposed herself. This wasn't empathy, it was contempt. Christine was right all along. Within hours, #EyeRollGate trended across Twitter and TikTok, with fans calling it the moment the world saw Robyn's true feelings toward Kody's other children. But the real shock came when Mykelti, Christine's own daughter, quietly responded with silence that spoke volumes. While Robyn faced backlash for what many saw as coldness, Mykelti was making a very different decision not to defend, not to attack, but to leave it all behind. She had watched her mother endure heartbreak, watched her father choose one household over 3, and watched the media tear apart what little peace remained. So, Mykelti did the bravest thing she could. She stopped trying. As Robyn clung tighter to control, Mykelti's surrender became her liberation. But fans weren't done, because when they pieced these moments together, the Brown family narrative would take a darker turn. The Sister Wives fan community, millions strong, began connecting the dots. See, from Robyn's repeated "your kids" comments, to Kody's visible discomfort, to Mykelti's cryptic posts. Robyn's eye roll wasn't about truly, it was about Christine's influence. Mykelti leaving right after? That's no coincidence. Robyn's reactions always happen when Kody mentions Christine's children. The pattern was undeniable, and for the first time, fans began treating Robyn's gestures as clues in a bigger emotional mystery. But beneath the noise, there was something deeper, a generational heartbreak repeating itself. When analyzed by body language experts on YouTube, the truth was far more complex than outrage suggested. Robyn's expression shows defensive contempt, the sign of emotional burnout. It wasn't hatred, it was disbelief. She didn't think Kody truly missed Truly, not because she despised the child, but because she no longer believed him. Years of broken promises, fractured trust, and selective empathy had corroded what little faith Robyn once had in her husband's emotional honesty. And Mykelti, she saw the same truth just from another side. She realized that saving the Browns wasn't her mission anymore. It was her trauma. The twist wasn't betrayal, it was awakening. As 2025 dawned, 2 women stood on opposite sides of the same story. Robyn weary, guarded, and criticized. Mykelti distant, quiet, finally at peace. Mykelti's strong. She's got her mom's heart, but she's learned her own boundaries. In a world built on shared faith and family, both women faced the same question. What happens when the love you built your life on stops feeling safe? Maybe the real story of Sister Wives isn't about who left or who rolled their eyes, but who finally learned to stop pretending. Peace doesn't always look like forgiveness. Sometimes it looks like silence. Long before the headlines, Mykelti learned what tension felt like before she could even name it. In a house with 4 mothers and 18 siblings, love had rules, and peace had a schedule. She watched smiles turn sharp when attention shifted. She saw her mother, Christine, shrink when her father's eyes moved elsewhere. And even as a little girl, Mykelti became the fixer, the one who smoothed the edges before anyone noticed the cracks. It's no wonder, years later, she tried to heal a family already programmed for heartbreak. Within minutes of airing, fans across the world turned into detectives. Replays, screenshots, even slow-motion edits flooded social media. Freeze at 107, look at her lips. You can actually hear her whisper, "He's not serious." It became more than a meme, it became evidence. Every frame dissected, every blink interpreted. Was it annoyance, or was it disbelief in the man she once called her spiritual partner? And as the internet tore apart 2 seconds of footage, the Browns' decade of silence finally started to make sense. What we're seeing here are 2 trauma responses within the same family system. Robyn externalizes her emotions, leak out through gestures and facial expressions. Mykelti internalizes, she goes quiet, withdraws to protect her peace. Family therapists call this the mirror split. One carries the guilt, the other the grief. It's the emotional DNA of a broken home repeating itself across generations. And once you understand that, Robyn's eye roll and Mykelti's silence stop looking like opposites, they start looking like survival. Sources close to the family say Christine didn't watch the live special with fans. She saw it later, alone, replaying the moment when Kody said he missed truly, and Robyn rolled her eyes. Christine didn't post, didn't react, just turned off her phone and whispered, "Now they see." For a woman once accused of jealousy, that moment felt like vindication, not triumph, but truth. It wasn't revenge, it was release. By early 2025, Mykelti and Tony Padron had built a life away from the headlines, a quiet home in North Carolina where laughter replaced arguments. Robyn, meanwhile, has stayed mostly silent, no interviews, no public statements. Her absence speaks volumes. The Browns have stopped filming together, but their story continues, not on camera, but in the hearts of those who once believed in forever families. And maybe, just maybe, the next generation will learn that love doesn't have to come with conditions. Before you go, we want to hear from you. Was Robyn misunderstood? Or did Mykelti's silence say it all? Drop your thoughts below. Your comment might be featured in our next deep dive. Coming soon, Christine's redemption. How one wife rebuilt her world. If this story made you think differently about the Brown family, tap subscribe and join our community of women seeking strength, truth, and healing through real stories. When Love Turns Silent full documentary. Subscribe for weekly deep dives into sister wives' hidden truths. Comment below. Do you think Robyn regrets that moment? Or was it honesty breaking through?